My name is Alina Levitska, and today I'm going to be presenting student case study for my student whose name is Lisa. She's 14 years old. She's in the 8th grade right now. She lives with her mom and her stepdad. It's not her father, it's her stepfather, and two brothers, 4-year-old and 1-year-old. She's the oldest child in her family, and so she has a lot of responsibilities as an older sister, as she has a huge age gap with her siblings. All that I know of is that she has to take care of her brothers a lot. Sometimes she brings her older brother to school, she picks him up, so she has a lot of some sort of like a mother responsibilities. I think it's important to mention that she's from Ukraine, and since being transferred to this international school, it's her first time to be in the international academic environment. She's from Ukraine, so she has a lot of the trauma from the wars right now. And in her class in Ukraine, because of the difference in the academic system, she was in a higher grade than she is right now, also because of her English level. So her English level is 6.5 IELTS score, so she's usually pretty shy to speak, even though she speaks really well, and I think she feels comfortable. She doesn't know all of the words, but it's just a work of progress. She has some interests. Her interests are Japanese graphic art, which is related to art class that I'm teaching, that she's in. I would say her overall academic level is intermediate, and the greatest challenge is social interactions and possible anxiety disorder. And maybe I'm thinking there could be also PTSD from the war. The way she behaves in the class is, I can see that it has to do a lot with her puberty. So the way she looks, the way she performs in the classroom is important to her. She cannot fail, basically, to look good, to sound good. So when she presents something, I can tell she pays a lot of attention to her appearance. So of course, any change in attitude of her classmates to her has a big influence on her emotional condition, and it's very visible to me. As I said, she pays a lot of attention to the way she looks, and it makes her distracted in class. She can use a mirror and put some lipstick on, slightly, but she gets those little moments when she's becoming this little woman, I noticed that she speaks really fast without processing her request to the teacher, without processing her thought. She gets into conclusions very fast. For example, if I ask her a question, or I ask her to talk for 10 minutes about some of her projects after class, which I do a lot with my students, I give them some personalized time, she immediately anticipates that she's in trouble. I can see that she gets into a really high anxiety mode. She starts kind of studying and trying to prevent. She assumes that she has done something, and she jumps into this big desire to prevent the trouble to kind of reach to her. So I can see how she just tries to be the people pleaser, teacher pleaser. And this is a challenge for me to make it carefully, not about pleasing the teacher, but enjoying the material in the class. And I think there is a thin line between pushing her away and seem hard and cold to her, and just directing her attention to another matter. So she gets ashamed when in spotlight. If she makes a mistake in English or does something like this, I can see it on her face. She gets really anxious. And it looks like, and at the same time she asks to be in a spotlight. She easily grabs responsibilities. She is happy to be a leader of certain activities, and then she kind of, every time it's a big challenge for her, and I can see how she loses the grip of control, and it looks like she's self-sabotaging for her personal reasons. I can tell she likes me as her teacher, as a role model, as a teacher role model. She gives a feeling that I can influence her in a good way. And I could see that sometimes students in her class express being annoyed with her desire to be admired and get the leading spots, because every time that I need a leader of something, she's first one to raise her hand, which is great initiative, but I can tell that it has a deeper connection with her classroom relationships with her classmates. What can teachers do, in my opinion? One question to raise is, can we find ways to help her with self-esteem based on real achievements in class, instead of just a pretty appearance and popularity? As I can see that she wants to be a popular girl, can we move this popularity to be great in her projects and be admired by that in her classroom? Is it our prerogative to address her self-sabotaging behavior, or is it something deeper and it's within the family that is reflected in her academic behavior? Another question to work on. In my opinion, there is a lot teachers can do because we spend a lot of time with our students in school. And I believe that this time is precious for us to work with feelings of students outside of academic setting, but within the academic grounds, of course. So if so, what are the steps we can take to help her have more balanced attitude to learning in class? Should we give her more responsibility, or should we get this responsibility off her shoulders because she has enough of responsibility in her classroom? In her house, because she's responsible for 2 little brothers a lot of time of the day, because she's in school with one of her brothers. She brings him lunch. There's a lot of things that are on her shoulders, and is it our prerogative to talk to the parents about it? Probably yes, because I believe that her older brother has enough of, he's in the same school, right? He has his teachers, he has his caretakers. So could we balance that and work with his classroom setting to influence the way she feels and the way her responsibilities spread out outside of her classroom? I think this is one of the questions I would like to address. Her academic success in the art classroom, she's like about 75 to 80% of her academic achievements. It's not nothing to get concerned about, but I can see that she could get way better. She's artistic, she loves art, and I think it's important to keep this interest going while she's in this transitional stage, because I'm afraid that being disappointed in not able to, this mixture of feelings, disappointment of failing, can give her this overall disappointment, and she might struggle with believing in her future success. So I think this is the questions we would need to address. And I'm looking forward to hear what my cohort has to say, and if there are any advice, because here most of the questions are spreading outside into her family, into her situation, the way she lives and things like that. Thank you.